Hi, Bede, how are you? Welcome back to Razmafzar TV.
Great to see you again.
Bede, we are going to talk about a collection, a very good collection on arms and armor, Streshinskiy Collection. This is a collection which I, some years ago, published a book on that, and this book is there. And then this book is about the collection. Just a background on this collection. This collection was owned by a from Saudi Arabia prince. And then this prince, I think if I remember it correctly, he inherited from his dad. And then later on, he sold the complete collection to Streshinskiy. So Streshinskiy, a Russian-Ukrainian collector who lives or lived back then at least in Paris, so directly in Paris, Paris city. Very well-off businessman and also investor who bought this collection. And then I think this collection first was brought from Saudi Arabia to Abu Dhabi because he had also offices in Abu Dhabi. And because they have many clients from this area in the Persian Gulf states. And then he was there, and one of his partners from Italy was located in Abu Dhabi. So then they brought it to Abu Dhabi. Then they took the whole collection because then I said, no, I don't have time to go to Abu Dhabi, and I didn't expect it. They brought the whole collection to Paris. So I
That
could
must
go
be
to Paris.
incredibly expensive.
Very nice, right?
Yeah.
I have to say. So they
Oh,
invited
yeah,
me,
that's very, very
yeah,
kind.
I
Yeah.
mean, to Paris. I remember very nice hotel. Not that I'm into these things, but anyhow, invited me. So I went there a couple of times, analyzed this, and they had the special places in Paris for this, for safety of these, of course, reasons. And so then I went and then analyzed them. Then there was also a professional photographer, I think from Moscow, who took pictures of this collection. And then in this collection, there had also back then a Russian silversmith from Moscow, very famous guy. I mean, his name is in my book. I forgot as usual. I always forget names. And he made for each book, and the book is huge. It's like I'm going to make it later on another video and add it. It's like my arms and armor from Iran weighs 5 kilos. This book weighs 7 kilos, so it's huge, huge book,
Mhm.
really huge. And one of the reasons is on top of each book, the Russian silversmith, based on one of the Arab jambias, made of silver, almost the same size, an Arab jambia, and then he chased the silver and okay, it doesn't have a blade.
Doesn't have a blade.
No, no. So he put
Yes, it's
it
decorative. Yeah.
yeah, decorative. He put it inside the cover of the book. So, and I think this Jambia silver, what he did is weighs somehow like 650 or 700 grams on each book, and each one is different.
Oh
Each
my God,
one is different. Means
that's impressive.
impressive. Each one is different. I mean, it is the base Jambia, the same, which is in the collection, but he made the chiseling by hand differently. So that's what he did. And then
Hmm.
the paper of the book is whitened papyrus, handmade paper, very
Hmm.
exclusive paper. They made, I don't know how many, I don't know. I'm not into these things. Because it was as a present, okay, back then for the birthday of the ruler of Abu Dhabi and his
Mhm.
court. So they made, I don't know how many of them, but then they
Mhm.
kept some of them for sale of this. But then then they made also the normal book The normal
Hmm.
book was printed on normal paper, not in
Yeah.
handmade paper, and there is no this silver thing on it. Let's say like a statue
Mhm.
or whatever model on it, but it's just flattened. It's made of silver, but something flattened, which it was then
Mhm.
produced in series. Put it on it. So they have two versions. The first, even the second version is expensive enough because the book is huge, but the first version, I mean, I don't know how much
Next
they're
level.
selling. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what's the price? I mean, So this is the background of this book. But besides that, I mean, they had this collection. That's what we are going to talk about it because I think after so many years, it's time that we go
Mhm.
through them. Because I haven't revealed that much from this book, but maybe we can talk about them. That's the reason we are here, Pete. Okay?
It sounds incredibly interesting.
Okay. So, Beat, this is this. I'm going to again to make some videos so we can take a look at that. This
Hmm.
is this book, huge book. It's like this, and all these decorations are silver put inside, right? These are silver, and the title is
Inlaid.
also in silver.
Oh,
So, if you talk about an exclusive books, that's the book, and you see that
mm.
made by
It's
hand.
beautifully done.
I mean, it is amazing.
Mm.
Amazing. I mean, the book in itself is a collector art book. I
Oh
have
yeah, I
never
can see
seen such
this.
a book.
This, yeah, I can see collectors going out of their way, but not just book collectors, but people interested in this. But yeah, this kind of production is very rare in modern times.
Yeah. So, so it was this one, right? So, see that, okay,
Mhm.
my name is there and then the title is there. But it's okay. Now we go and talk about this. Just, excuse me, put just a bit of close up, right? You see that
Yeah,
there is a, excuse me, oxidization here of the silver. You see that?
yeah. Well, but that's what happens with silver.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what happens to silver. Yeah. So, and the sides are also made of silver. So we go to African arms and armor bead. Look at
oh,
this one.
this is very beautiful.
Beautiful. From
Yeah.
Morocco, the so-called Kumia dagger. Please take a look at
Hmm.
this blade.
Now, this is really interesting. Notice the blade shape,
Yes.
which is the long edge on the inside of the curve and the short edge on the outside of the curve.
Yes.
This you see this in Syrian daggers of the 12th, 13th century.
Yes.
So it's a really ancient form in that sense.
Yes.
But the kind of big lunate pommel is almost in the form of a half moon, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
But that gives for this kind of stabbing. It makes an excellent dagger because it won't come out of your hand. But I don't think too many people got stabbed by that one. It's too pretty.
Yeah.
This is interesting because there's a lot of cultures where wearing a dagger was part of the costume of an adult male,
Yeah.
and so therefore, uh, it developed past being a weapon into being jewelry. And this is very much, I mean, it looks like quite an effective blade, but the
Yeah.
actual scabbard and hilt and pommel are works of art.
Yes. Yes.
It's amazing. North Africa just kept so many skills
Yeah.
and then
Absolutely.
developed them further.
As you can see that, I mean, I have all the measurements and also the type of stones written in the book for those who are interested. And
Mhm.
it has it was not as usual baldric. You see that this type of
Yeah,
dagger.
yeah. So yeah, you wore it over your shoulder and it just hung. Usually silk cords that are really nicely
Yes.
braided and whatever. Yeah,
Notice
that
the top
that
of
is
the pommel of the handle. You see that? This is
yeah,
interesting,
it's an
right?
interesting shape.
Yeah. Very nice. Very
Um,
beautiful.
yeah, I'm looking even the decoration around the top of the pommel. It's like curtains
Yes.
been tied up, which is a you see in paintings, but
Yes.
it rarely. Maybe not in Morocco and North Africa. Maybe it's quite common to use this in metalwork, but it's to me it's quite outstanding. And the little pyramidal shapes on the the grip and on the scabbard where they match, and their spacing seems to be quite well thought out.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
and then
very
the whole
good.
background is very finely. It looks like repoussé then chased, like work from the back and then work from the front. Uh,
Yes,
but very fine work.
very. Bede,
Yeah,
there are
this is.
many of them. I can hear we have a close up. Look at
Oh yeah,
this.
look at that. Yeah,
Beautiful,
this is.
huh?
It looks like it may have been gilded once.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
There's traces of gold on that, I think.
yeah. Oh, yeah,
Um,
yeah. I can see that.
Undoubtedly a highly important piece. It's yeah, that see when you first look at that, if you're a jeweler, you think, oh yeah, you could cast that, but this isn't doesn't look cast at all to me. This all looks hand chased. But
Beautiful,
again, it's really intricate.
very.
The design is very well thought out.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you could imagine somebody walking around with this hanging hanging at the from their baldric at their waist, feeling very, very happy with their dagger.
We go to the next one, and this one has a
Huh?
horn of rhino horn insert. Okay, these
Yeah.
guys, just one for one thing, they're all antique blades, right?
Yeah, yeah. No recent rhino has
Yes,
died to produce this.
these are all antiques.
Uh,
So it says a rhino.
Again, look at that blade. It's characteristically almost Syrio Western Iran, like Iraq, Al-Ajam. Uh, this is a characteristic thing from it must go back to the 10th century or something like that.
And Pete, just one
And it's
thing
a
I need to say, because I had them in my hand and measuring them, all blades on these are solid, sharp, functional blades. Because,
yeah,
Bibi, I just want to mention that because sometimes people go to Morocco, when I was also in North Africa, you can,
yeah,
buy this modern stuff. They don't have good blades. Guys, these are all excellent blades,
yeah.
irrespective of what Bede also said. If there are jewels and so, they all have Premier League blades. I have to say that. Just wanted to mention before someone,
Yeah, yeah, I could see that being an issue, um, because when these were made, they were still being used, even though they're
yes,
highly decorated. But again, weapons were highly decorated, because not, the richer you were, the better quality decoration you had on your weapons. But you still wanted a functional blade
exactly,
because,
exactly.
you know,
That's why,
every,
Beat. That's why, Beat. I have always problem in English, or also in German. We use it in German as well, not only English. Ceremonial weapon. And I always
hmm,
say, guys, can we stop using this word ceremonial weapon? Because once you say
yeah.
ceremonial weapon, everyone assumes the blade is not functional. Can we just agree not to use this word?
I remember when I was trying to translate some uh, stuff from the catalog from Karlsruhe, the Teukenbeuter, Turkenbeuter. Um, uh, they talked about Prunksaddle, and it's translated as ceremonial saddle. And these weren't ceremonial saddles; these were just highly decorated saddles that very rich people rode on.
Exactly. Highly decorated saddle. Why do they call them ceremonial saddle? Exactly.
I think it's part of a maybe 17th, 18th, 19th century style of expressing yourself. It's like the joke that archaeologists make. If you don't know what something is, they say it's a ritual object. And
Ritual
sometimes,
object.
yeah,
Exactly.
sometimes it really is. But a lot of the times, they're just being polite to say we don't know what it is. And if we just write we don't know what it is,
Yes.
people won't think we know what we're doing because in a speciality like archaeology or anything like that, people know the limits of their own knowledge.
Yeah.
But the public, they're not exposed to that as often. So they don't realize that people can say, I really don't know what that's for. So when you publish a book, you use the standard phrase ritual object.
Yeah.
Or, but yeah,
Yes.
this, for instance, this is definitely does not look ceremonial to me. It looks like it's meant for serious use.
Yes.
Um, And maybe it was only ever worn ceremonially, but that doesn't mean that the thing itself is not a fully functional weapon. That looks exceptionally. That blade is a serious blade.
Yes. And beads, look at the beautiful horn, huh? Beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Can you
This
just
is.
Mhm.
I mean, this is one of the problems that rhinoceroses have. They have beautiful horns.
Yeah.
If they had horrible horns, there'd be a lot more rhinoceroses today. So let's hope that people don't shoot rhinoceroses anymore.
Look at the
That's a
pommel
really
cap. It's also
yeah
beautiful, huh?
yeah. It's really interesting. I'm what even the rivet head. Look at how beautiful the rivet head's done.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like a
Let me just
flower.
see if I have. Oh, yeah, here, bead. Look,
Yeah.
look.
I'm really puzzled by the little crossguard.
Yeah.
Is it a person wearing a jalaba type thing with a hood, or
You're
is it a
right.
finger? Is it somebody's finger pointing at the little sun or the little flower? I really don't know. It's really quite.
Beautiful.
I mean, it's
It's
all
really
beautifully
beautiful.
made. And
It's
to be honest,
simple but beautiful design. Really
yeah,
nice.
and the shape of the handle is so lovely to look at. I mean, that would be a really nice thing to be.
Yeah,
Um, if you're a knife maker out there and you want to make a nice handle for one of these blades, this is the thing you should be looking at.
yeah. Really beautiful.
Because it looks really nice.
And look at the scabbard bead. The scabbard is also silver scabbard. Very beautiful.
Oh yeah, that's exceptionally good. See that kind of polyagonal, where you've got the straight sections joining together to make complex shapes, and then you break it up with two bands with then the little pieces in between. This is just good design.
Very.
And again, this would look really good when you could be wearing silk robes with embroidery. This would stand out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Right.
wouldn't fade into the background.
No.
And that's excellent. Yeah, I
This one
really, I
is like
really
looks
think.
like a coin, right? Like a gilded coin, right?
Well, it could. Is it an inscription?
Mm, maybe. I cannot read it though.
Yeah, but it looks vaguely like kind of stylized Arabic letters
Mm,
written around the edge with the tops facing in towards the center. But it might just be meant to be a flower or the
mm,
sun, but I think more like a flower. But
yeah.
it could be an inscription too. So this is the problem. Uh, Bearing in mind, I don't know how old this is, but if that's gold, gold is soft and wear and
Oh,
tear
excuse
over.
me, not gilded. I wanted to say this is gold. I'm sorry. I wanted to say
Yeah,
gold,
yeah,
gold, not gilded
yeah.
gold.
That looked
Sorry,
like
sorry.
gold to me.
Gold, gold. Sorry.
Again, gilded would have sharper lines. Gold is soft and it
No,
gets.
no, it's gold. I wanted to say gold. I said
Yeah,
gilded. Sorry,
mm,
my mistake. Gold. Yes.
yeah. No, but it's really even more interesting.
Look
Again,
at
that
this one.
blade shape is 100% old. I mean,
Ah, they have
but look,
excellent blade speed. Excellent carbon steel blades.
yeah,
Functional, sharp, all of them, without exception.
yeah, yeah. North Africa held the traditions and brought the traditions that the Moors in Spain were
Yeah.
famous for.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So they didn't die out. They still existed.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, that
And
but the decoration on the scabbard is just absolutely beautiful.
yes, they're chiseled silver, right? The
Yeah,
scabbard. Oh, yeah, you're right. The scabbard is so intricate. Look at this.
yeah, and just like it gets a knotted decoration towards the end.
Yeah.
Um, See, this is I'm not sure, but I get the feeling that in places where they have strong textile traditions of complex textile patterns, the silverwork metalwork often has more complex patterns than you would get, say, in other places. Now, that previous one with the kind of fluted scabbard, that's quite complex, but it's nowhere near as complex as this in terms of the individual parts of the design.
Yes.
But that design may have been made to stand out more, whereas this design fits in, if you know what I mean. But
Yes.
see how they've done the hilt. The hilt, they've taken See, normally when you've got a silver piece like that in the middle of the hilt, it's a repair. But this is part of the original design, isn't it?
Yes, it
You
is.
can see they said, oh, we can just make that. Is that horn or wood? Is that a tropical wood?
Wood. This one is wood. Yeah.
Yeah. So they've said, we've got this beautiful color. Let's not just have a single part of it. Let's break it up and have, decoration in between and things like that. Again, really good design work. I mean, I talk a lot about that when I look at things like this because I'm looking at from how does a person come up with the idea to make it this way? Now, the general shape of the dagger and the blade and the scabbard comes from tradition, but how you modify it, how you add design features to it, that comes from the individual artisan's, mind and his maybe his family tradition as well.
Yes.
That little cross in the diamond shape, is that like a Tuareg symbol?
Yes.
I
This
know
one,
that,
you mean? This one
yeah,
on the scale? Yeah, it is. Yes.
yeah, yeah, because North Africa is a complex place.
Yeah.
Arabs, and Berber people,
Yeah.
and further south you've got, people from uh, different African ethnic groups. So
Yes.
you've got like a Mediterranean group on the top, but you've got an African group further down. They're all mixing together. We've got great movements like um, the two big religious movements that, well, three if you count the Fatimids who started in North Africa and moved east. You have these big, complex cultural, religious, and um, sometimes technological developments happening in North Africa. They spread into Spain and Sicily and as far east as Egypt because the Fatimids conquered Egypt and set up a caliphate there. So this is we in modern times we forget how dynamic culture was and still is
Yeah.
in places like Morocco, Algeria, Tunis, Libya. These are major places for. They were in the past and they still are for culture. Oh, isn't that nice up close?
They are so beautifully designed. Honestly, look at
Yeah,
this.
and like even in the corners of the kind of quillion part, in
Yes.
on the handguard, you've got like little five petal flowers with it, and it's just done so simply.
Yes. And each
But
flower
the
different to the other. You see that?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, actually, yeah, one's got six petals. um, but the kind of the way that the pommel is done,
Yeah.
really beautiful.
You're right. This one has six petals. This one has five. You're right. Very nice.
Yeah,
Very nice.
yeah,
Very
and the color of the wood is so beautiful.
beautiful. And look at this
Yeah.
one.
Oh, wow.
Ivory bead.
Yeah. Look at entirely different style of decoration on the scabbard. Like
Yeah.
it's entirely different. It's balancing decoration with blank spaces. It's in lines,
Yeah.
and
This
then
is
you get the
one of the
yeah
most beautiful collection of Moroccan and North African daggers. This collection has. I'm just showing some of them. Really exclusive.
yeah. These are beautiful pieces of art. Again, they're daggers, but they're part of a person's dress as well.
Yes, 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 yes.
And they're culturally significant because you wore these daggers to show that your place in society. The handle is amazing.
Amazing.
It's
Simply
really
amazing.
interesting. I think one of the earlier daggers were trying to get the crossguard part, were trying to get to that design and didn't quite make it. Whereas this one is just excellent. Notice also the handle has a vague resemblance in the pommel to a armor.
Yeah,
It's very vague. It's not very close,
yeah.
but that kind of way that it's well, if you're holding it here with the pommel that way, which I don't think you did with this type of knife, I think you held it the other way around. Um, it stops it being pulled out of the hand. I I know a delicate way of saying this. When you stab someone, sometimes it's hard to pull the blade back out. I don't say that from personal experience. The closest thing I've done to that is cutting up meat when I'm cooking. So, no, it's a it's a practical part of the design, even though it looks so decorative.
Yeah.
But
And look
again, the
at the
blade, I love these blades. They're
yeah, look at the
really
blade. Just let me just look at these blades. Don't have this fuller, but this one has
yeah,
a different design.
yeah. It's almost hollow ground on that side,
Yeah.
and it's a more diamond section blade in the last half towards the point.
Yeah.
So a much
Mm.
more serious. Um,
Let me see the. Oh, you're right. Much more. Yeah.
yeah. Whereas that one, no, that one's very diamond section too, but it's much
Yeah.
thinner.
Yeah. Let me just
You
look at
can
the
see that
first one.
there's a whole world of different designs for these blades.
Blades as well. Yeah, you're right. It is.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
interesting.
this is what I like when you get to see things like this that aren't generally available. I mean, I've seen maybe in my whole life six nice Moroccan daggers, but not at this level. This is beyond anything I've ever
This is
seen in person.
unbelievable, right?
I mean,
I
and
remember
I mean,
when they took the collection and then I started with Moroccans. I said, "Oh God," because this is not every day you see that level of craftsmanship, right?
yeah, and I mean, I the people I know that ancestors came from this area, and some of them are very good scholars and very good collectors. They have a deep appreciation of their culture.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, look, if you came to Australia today, you would find people that were more interested in American culture because they watched a lot of TV or a lot of stuff on the internet, or people that were interested in kind of like traditional culture because that's part of their heritage, or people who are a mix of both, or people that are bringing cultures from overseas or whatever. So it's a big mix. So you don't get a kind of consistent um, attitude. But people from places that have very, very distinct and strong cultures like this, I think there tend to be, I mean, in Australia, we have um,
Mm.
both at the original level.
Yeah.
I didn't say Aboriginal because that didn't seem right. The original people that lived here and the people that came here brought other cultures. Um, each group has a connection to their own culture. But
Yeah.
of course, when people mix together, then they bring that all together. But in places like, say, Morocco, where despite French occupation and influence, Morocco is very Moroccan.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's maintained its culture really successfully
Yeah.
because it didn't it was able to look out and look in at the same time, which sometimes cultures get really mixed up and they lose bits and pieces of their history.
Yes.
But clearly, this is not a problem for the Moroccans.
Pete, look.
Oh yeah, that's glorious, isn't it?
Yeah, unbelievable. Beautiful, huh?
That's really, really deeply. Um, well, again, I imagine it's a combination of repoussé and chasing, but
Yes.
I might be wrong. It might be all dug
You
in.
see, Pete, when you get close up, you can see the craftsmanship. What is the
Yeah,
really behind this?
yeah,
Unbelievable. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, this is interesting.
Yes. The Nimcha, as we say, and interestingly, in my research of that book, which is written Taide Besarat, Aid to Sight, that they use the word in Persian Nimche. So back then, Nimche was half sword in Persian. And then I said,
Ah,
what? Nimche is in Persian, yeah. Nimche.
because when you separated the syllables, I recognized the nim part, and I'm going, oh,
Yeah,
but
Nimche, half sword. And
yeah,
interestingly, because this is really interesting. When I was listening, and he said, wrote in Persian, of course, Taide Besarat, eight to sight,
Mhm.
which I wrote a book on that. And then I wrote Nimche. Okay, I understand Nimche. But the whole time I was speaking English, Nimcha, Nimcha. I never thought that Nimcha is
Oh yeah.
Nimche. You know what I mean?
Well, I know from the Moroccan archery book that was translated into English that they're always referring to Persians.
Ah,
Sometimes very with very little understanding of what Persians were doing. The famous thing about a one long sleeve and no sleeve on the other arm when they were doing archery, which is not true. But anyway, it's an interesting thing. But see, these are interesting swords when you look at them. Everybody notices the hilt because it's so unique.
unique.
But everyone I've known I've never picked one up that I can remember. But everyone I've known who has said that they actually fit your hand very well.
Very well beat. I handled these ones also, okay, not that exclusive in some other collections, very well.
Mhm.
And this one is also a horn made of a rhino horn. Again, these are all old. And this has a very nice blade beat. You see that?
Mm.
Let me just see if I can. Yeah, look at this.
Yeah. See,
You can
this is
just,
well, there's inlaid gold in
yeah,
the steel, which
yes.
is a popular thing to do. Is it inlaid or is it like Kofgari work where it's
I think
hammered
it's
into?
Koftegari. On blade, you mean,
Yeah,
right? Yes,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
Koftegari. Yes.
yeah. Um, but yeah, see, knuckle guards are fairly rare in Islamic culture for
Yeah,
sword, but North Africa was in close contact with
yes.
Europe, so therefore they adopted or developed or whatever.
Just
Um,
one thing, bit, to just for many people who keep saying that once you have a bazoo band and the protection of a bazoo band, right? I mean, that's the reason they didn't also have it. All the fingers, and so. But these ones, of course, you don't need such a, protection of a metal.
yeah, well, I think we've got two things. One is if you're using a shield and a sword, you don't need that much protection on your hand. And yeah, the part of the buzzer band, which is sometimes separate, that covers the back of the palm and sometimes down on the fingers, because that could be all mail and just fold in around your hand, is a good defense. Though good defense against cuts. The male ones, if you got whacked hard with a sword, it wouldn't cut your fingers, but it could break bones in your fingers. So
Of course.
this is probably a greater protection. And certainly, I'm thinking the large scale um, maritime adventuring that was done from North Africa, uh, the so-called Barbary pirates, for instance, on ships. Would not this be a good weapon? Because it gives you hand protection. You've got those quillins pointing down along the blade, which if somebody swung at you and their blade sliding down your blade, you could just twist and push them out of the way and come back and hit them. I think these are quite sophisticated and I think in some ways comparable to European designs because the Europeans were thinking along the same lines. But we've got people that are fighting each other regularly and they're adopting ideas backwards and forwards.
Yes.
But no European sword ended up looking like that.
Look at the scabbard, please. Wooden scabbard. And look at
Mm.
the scabbard fittings, also silver, chase silver.
Silver with it looks like garnets and lapis lazuli, and
Yes.
or it could be amethyst. I don't know. Um, Look at how low the rings are. I wonder if that mount has moved on the scabbard with time as the wood shrunk
Yeah.
and it's slid down a bit further than it should be.
Yeah.
Um,
It went down, definitely.
yeah, yeah, because otherwise it would tend to tip over because that's a pretty large grip and it might unbalance it. Um, but the decorative features of it really nicely done.
Yeah.
I suddenly realized that the tang must go all the way through the handle and it's pinned
Yeah,
over
it
on that
does.
little
Yes,
rivet
it
at the
does.
top. So it's a solid
Here,
make.
let me show it for
Yeah,
here. It is a full
yeah,
tank, then it is coming. Riveted.
yeah, yeah. It's as I say, really nice design. I think. Oh, that one's got
Another
an
one.
even more interesting blade. Sorry,
Yes.
I immediately looked at that blade and went, oh.
Yeah. This is a solid blade.
Yeah.
Nice, huh?
Yeah, it's almost a spear point, so it's as good for thrusting as it is for cutting. It's a slight curve, but enough. That would be and again, well, that one you can see the rings on the scabbard. They can't move because that whole mounting is in
Yeah.
one piece. So they were again worn with baldricks generally, I think,
Boldly kiss.
um, which is a very old um, Arab style of wearing swords. It goes a long way back in Arabic culture. Um, it was also a Byzantine style, and the Byzantines ruled parts of North Africa for a while. So this could be a very historic style when you look at it. This might go back centuries before these swords were made. Um, but that's that again. I'm thinking of fighting in close quarters on ships or something like these would be really good swords for that kind of stuff. And that very strong, you would have very strong uh, edge alignment, as I say, for making sure that when you struck with the edge. And yet you could also do a very good thrust, I think, with that
And
once
when
you
you,
learn how. I
excuse me, when you hold this
Mhm.
blade bead, it's very solid blade. I remember this was a really,
Mm.
really solid blade.
It looks extremely solid.
Yeah, I handled that
And I
and
mean,
really,
there were blade makers exporting to Europe and Europeans exporting to North Africa. So
look
there was
at
a
the
lot of cross
design on the
fertilization.
blade.
Now that's really nice
Yeah, that's
because
unbelievable.
that part of the blade is unlikely to have ever been very sharp because it's the part you block with, not the part you cut with. I really like the Quillian block with the. It's really beautifully designed,
Yes,
and the gilding is superb.
yes.
See that the little circular finger relief up near the. I say that with no knowledge. Up near the pommel of that. I wonder if that gives more focus for a thrust,
Mhm.
allows the hand to turn further.
Yeah,
But I mean, this is a cutting and thrusting sword.
yes. And
But
this is made of rhino horn as well, just for case.
hmm.
Very nice. And now this is one for you.
A camel saddle.
Yes,
And Tuareg, isn't it? It looks Tuareg to
yes.
me.
Tuareg, yes.
Yeah. It's really interesting. You see the different styles of how people ride camels. So in this style, you kind of cross your legs over the pommel, around either side of the pommel. And there are other styles where you're actually sitting on the camel like you'd sit on a horse.
Can you tell me
Um,
why it looks like this?
I look, you could rest your arms on it, rest your hands on it. You're not doing a lot of rein pulling on a camel because they've got the reins go through usually in places like Iran and that through a nose peg. Sometimes in North Africa, I think they have something like the hakima, the noseband thing rather than that. But it's I think it started out as being totally practical and then gradually became more and more exaggerated. When you consider how you get on a camel, the camel kneels down and then you've got to climb onto this saddle. Look how high the pommel is. Think of getting your leg over that, and you're wearing a long flowing robe. This must have been taken real skill just to get onto the animal. Not, I'm not talking about riding. We know they were very good at riding them, but just getting onto the saddle is amazing. And you're sitting, you're sitting with your legs folded in front of you, not cross-legged, but out, one over the other. And you can see how the seat is adapted to that.
Yeah, it
And the
is.
whole design, I think, is really for comfort in long distance riding
Yeah.
because they were going very long distances on these.
And now
Oh,
here, Takuba, the Tuareg sword. Please take a look.
yeah. And very much a cutting sword. And
Oh, sorry.
also,
Mhm.
got carried away.
Why
Also,
is
when
it
you think
flying
about
all
it,
the time? Excuse me. Go ahead. Yes. Go ahead.
yeah, the, the closest European thing to this would be migration era swords, like late Spathers getting onto early Viking swords, where you're not using the crossguard to so much to defend your hand because it's wood or whatever. Um, it's to give you control of the blade, and your shield is what's protecting your hand.
Yes.
And they
And
were
this is,
famous for shields.
yes. And just for our viewers, the scabbard is leather. There's no wood inside. There's leather.
Mhm.
And then look at the pommel. Look at the blade.
Yeah, the pommel's
Very
very
nice one.
nice,
Very nice one, babe.
and you can really see that shape in the blade.
Yeah.
You can. What I mean is, it's like a hexagonal shape,
Yeah.
with pronounced edges that go right down to the edge.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Mm.
And now look at this spear.
Wow, there's a lot of thought gone into that design. I mean,
Very
there must
long
be.
one. Very long. I mean,
Yeah,
I have the measurements in my book and I remember
yeah,
it very long. Interestingly, look at the spear butt bead.
yeah. It's almost like some of the gun butts
Yes.
from the same area.
And
Is that
the,
meant to go under your arm? Because it looks as though it
yeah.
is.
And then, but the thing is, it is a blade. It's sharp here down.
So it's the kind of equivalent of a butt spike, but not a spike like an axe blade.
Look at this.
Oh,
That's what I
that's a
wanted to
whole
show
different
you.
idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
And look at this. Look at this. Okay. I mean, of course, African spears are very solid, really. And
mm,
then on, very beautiful, right? You see that bead?
are those loose rings? Are they
Yeah.
rattly?
Yes, they do.
So you've got lots of. So imagine if you're holding it at the red part, you've got a double-ended weapon which you can strike with an axe blade or stab with a spear blade.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and it's all decorated as well.
It's like a jingling
So
sound when I remember
yeah,
very
you can
well.
imagine when they're writing about. Um, I mean, really long spears, I assume, are used from camelback, and medium length spears, like um,
Yeah.
3 to 4 meters, are used from horseback. Oh, this
Another
one's hot.
takuba. Yes. Another one. Again, with a very old and solid blade.
Yeah, yeah, the black, and again, not meant for stabbing at all. Which a lot of, as I say, early European swords, and some of the Sasanian swords also were like that. So this is an old tradition that's survived, amongst the Tuareg. And again, the nature of how the scabbard, so that's got a loop, but you wore it quite high. It would be easy to draw. Um, it wouldn't get in the way when you were mounting your camel or your horse.
I mean, this scabbard, if you can take a look at that and if you compare it with the other one, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
but they're both, I think, meant to be used with baldricks rather than
Yes.
well, one has a baldric,
Yes.
and the other one has rings to take. It's not like it was meant to be worn like a saber
No,
with
no, no,
two
no.
support.
Exactly. It's
Yeah,
just tradition in Africa, of course, in those areas. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah. Well, it's very practical.
And a Tuareg arm dagger. I love these.
Yeah,
I really
yeah,
love.
and two-toned wood, so heartwood and sapwood.
Yes.
See, this is again an eye for the material, but even the scabbard, it's got bits. It's looks to me like different parts of a crocodile.
Yeah, it's crocodile. Definitely. Crocs
Yeah.
is crocodile.
So
That's it.
some are stomach parts, some are back parts to make the different contrasting design. See,
Yeah.
this is good. This is good work. I'm even looking at the braiding of the colored leather near the shape of the scabbard, and just below that ring at the top too. It's finely braided leather. Um, yeah, this is a North Africa, and even as far east as Arabia, the level of high quality leather braiding that was part of the culture is
Absolutely
amazing.
amazing.
But this shows real design.
This,
Oh,
this is the so-called, as we use it, Kascara in Sudan. Kascara, the collectors we call it Kascara. In Sudan, they still
mm,
call it safe. But this is also beautiful bead. What a sharp blade. You could shave yourself.
yeah,
And it
these are
has
these are
etched inscriptions like those Sudanese, as they call it, you know which ones I mean, when they have etched
Yeah,
inscriptions on the plate, right?
yeah, yeah.
These
But that's
Sufi,
again,
yeah.
that blade you could stab with
I'm
without
sorry?
too much trouble. You could stab with it quite
Yes,
well.
yes,
And bearing
absolutely.
in mind, in Sudan, whereas they did sometimes wear armor, sometimes mail, sometimes padded
Yes,
armor,
yes.
well, very colorful padded armor.
That's a very
Um,
acute point, very strong
yeah,
point.
that would go straight through padding
Yeah.
and well, definitely straight through clothing. So you would have little defense against that. But it's also designed for cutting. Um, and again, the geometric design of the quillion
Yeah.
um, and its langet is really attractive.
They have
Again,
excellent African weapons in this collection, right? The cards.
yeah, no, these are really high quality and really interesting. I mean, if you were interested in swords and saw that, you would be, ooh, you'd start thinking immediately about
I
and
agree.
this looks like a local blade to me because the
Yes.
following pattern's not what the imported European blades usually
No.
have.
Local,
Because
actually.
in the Sudan and those areas, like they when they imported European blades, they had a particular taste in blades,
Yes.
and so that they picked European blades that appeal to their taste rather than just any European blade. Though obviously, if you needed it, you do that. It looks like it was once wire wrapped around the handle as well.
Yes, it was. It lost it,
Yeah.
exactly. That's
Yeah. Well, I mean, a few hundred years and all kinds of things
yeah, of
disappear.
course. It is clear. Another one? Another
Oh,
blade here. The
that's
Kascara?
quite elaborate decoration on the blade, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
I was just looking at some Mamluk straight sword blades in another book earlier today, and what struck me is this kind of um, concept of how to decorate a double-edged blade, where to put the design, what parts, how it tapers out, and all that kind of stuff. And this is really quite sophisticated.
Yeah.
But again, this is clearly Sudanese work, I think. Though the calligraphy, what do you think of the calligraphy?
I mean, they are
It's
mostly from the Quran. Let me just read it if you can. Exactly, I can read it. Nasru min
mm,
Allahi wa fathun gharib. This is from a surah in Quran. God help us in
mm,
the upcoming victory.
well, a fair thing to ask for. Um,
Yes.
that looks like a crocodile skin
Yes.
handle.
Crocodile
So the
handle.
grip has been covered in. That's quite unusual.
Yes.
Um, and the cartouche below the Quranic inscription seems to have a whole heap of things scrambled together,
Yes,
written
it is
things.
very hard
Yeah.
to read indeed. These are these
Mm.
prayers and invocations which the Sufis back then put it there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there was strong Sufi presence in North Africa everywhere,
Yes.
and they were very influential, which means
Yes.
that you can get some quite esoteric quotations on weapons. I
Yes.
mean,
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
you have to be very well read to understand what the implications were.
Yes.
Uh,
We have an African member here in Razmafzar who always sends these things and then says, "Be careful that it doesn't make this invocation. Be careful." And I just look, yeah, okay.
well, yeah, I mean, it's a living culture. You've got to accept
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
it's
of
going to
course.
have these little things.
No, of course, because we don't live in that culture, we look at it differently. Of course, I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course.
Well, I mean, we've got in Razmov, so you've got lots of cultures coming together interested in
Yes.
Persian martial arts. So we're very, very much aware of that, and it's good. It's
Yeah,
really good
very
that
good.
people of
Yes.
different cultures are interested in other cultures.
And this is also one
Oh,
of the Sufi, let's say Sufi, I don't want to call it Khame, it's Persian, but from Persian influence, I know, but it
yeah,
also very nice, very short sword, and
yes, but
also with invocations. And
yeah,
this,
short double-edged swords. I think there's early ones from Yemen and places like that too. So it's not an unusual thing. I think there might even be one from Nishapur from the seventh, eighth
yes,
century.
yes,
So it's quite a popular thing and developed by the end of the 19th century. There were
yes.
Dharma everywhere and around. But
It
this
says
is
here, Pete. Also from the
Hmm.
Quran, Bashir al-Mu'minin, give good tidings to the believers. But the rest are
Hmm.
again these prayers and invocation. But this part is from the
Yeah.
Quran.
Mm.
Interesting, huh?
Very interesting. And as I say, uh, possibly quite good in close quarter fighting.
Yeah,
The grip is an interesting style. It's
yeah,
kind of got reminiscences of say the daggers,
yeah.
but not the same. It's
Not the
completely
same.
different in design.
When you hold it with, I remember this pinky and
Hmm.
also index finger go to those indentations, and then
Oh, right. So it's actually
yeah,
hand.
yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Very
Ergonomic.
interesting. Really,
So
you can hold it.
you don't when you look at it, you don't really have the scale, do you? You don't say, "Oh, my hand would just fit over there."
Yeah, it
That's an
fits
interesting
so well.
concept.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Fits so well.
interesting concept. See?
Yeah. I mean, I think these videos which we make also for makers, as Pete, you mentioned it in the beginning of this,
Mm,
gives ideas for makers, no matter what they make, right? To make some
yeah.
experimentations for the knives and swords and things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, a lot of knife makers are quite eclectic in where they take their influence. Modern knife makers, eclectic where they take their influences from because there are so many ways to do it, and it's to stand out among your fellow knife makers. You've got to come up with two things. You've got to make good quality stuff, and you've got to have interesting design. Oh,
And now two spears. Okay, I have to say
that,
that they were shortened beads, right? These are
yeah.
shortened, but
Mm.
unfortunately, but what should I say? This,
It happens. It happens.
yeah.
The little barbs at the bottom of the spear blades are common also in African arrows
Mm,
and also in tribal arrows in India.
mm, yeah.
So it's, I mean, African arrow points often have quite elaborate structures in
Yes,
them. And
yes.
these spear blades, if you look at them,
Mm,
I mean, it's these are socketed spear blades with a socket that would be familiar in European weapon making. Uh, but look at so there's a strong distinction from the socket to the little barbs and then to that beautiful head shape. I mean, that's really so smooth and pointy. I mean, you can just say
I
that
mean, these
really fits.
African spears are heavy and sharp. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
This is,
You do not want to come in contact with that when it's
no,
coming towards you.
you can
And they've got
hunt
that,
big game with them, beat. Forget
yeah, and
humans.
they've got two color braiding, and
Yeah,
that could be slip braiding. I'm not sure,
yeah,
but it's very decorative. And
yeah.
this is somebody's. Maybe the local blacksmith makes the spear blade for them, and then they decorate the shaft because people were very, oh, still are,
Yeah,
very inventive in personalizing their weapons. Now,
yeah.
if you're a prince and you have all the silver work done and the jewel set, yeah, that's one way of personalizing it. But that that slip rating may be something that says I'm from such and such a family group because we all make our weapons this way. Granddad taught me.
I mean, we have seen some of the African arms and armor. In this book, you can find many more. I just put some examples here, of course. Now let us move to Ottoman arms and armor.